Hi, I'm Corin Daniels, and I am the founder of EcoIQ, which is a B2B SaaS startup, and we're operating in the sustainability space, focusing on environmental and social sustainability for companies and their supply chains. I think women bring a unique perspective to climate solutions. I think because we naturally, as systems thinkers, we you know we have that ability to organize. I would say we see connections. We see connections between communities, between short-term and long-term goals and consequences. And also, more importantly, I think we're more in tune with the human behavior side, and how environment impacts that. I think in the data space, it would translate into how we ask questions. I think we don't just ask what does the data mean, but we also look at who is affected by the data and how we can make it accessible to drive real change that can create impact and progress. Absolutely. I definitely feel we lead differently. I think we tend to lead with what I call a more inclusive urgency. I feel that we understand the pressing need for climate action, but we approach it by building bridges. We're more likely to prioritize collaboration over competition, and we seek solutions to address multiple stakeholder needs simultaneously. I think from my corporate experience and now a new founder, what I see is that climate challenges don't have a simple answer. There's no one solution or this one size fits all. And I think women are naturally equipped to navigate this ambiguity. We are more comfortable when dealing with uncertainty and complexity. And moreover, I think we are more likely to say that we don't know. We don't have the answer to all the questions, and we more open to seek out diverse expertise and solutions. And I think that's exactly what climate leadership demands. For me, simply put, fund us, invest in us. Women-led climate startups or startups in that space of sustainability, we receive a fraction of the investment that male-led companies do. Yet, we often addressing the most innovative and community-centered solutions. I think the sector still talks about inclusion, but it still operates, with that old boys club, old networks, and traditional funding models that don't always cater for us or serve us. I think investors need to understand that a woman in her 50s, starting a climate tech company isn't a risk, but she's somebody that spent decades understanding the problems and is now positioned to come with real solutions. The sector, I think, needs to recognize that diverse leadership isn't just morally right, it's strategically needed, for tackling complex global issues like climate change. I think from my experience now with EcoIQ, I think collecting and presenting data that shows the human face of environmental impact is critical. I think to really give that human face to the problem, and also when looking at building solutions around that, I think sometimes policies are driven too much by some aggregated, sources of data, where the reality of who's actually impacted is sometimes hidden. I think we also need to look at how the data can show us which communities actually bear the brunt of environmental and social impact, and then use that to create solutions tailored to those particular needs and to those particular communities, and develop policies around that, and using the data in a more realistic way that brings real change to the people who really need it. Well, firstly, my children, my teenage twins, I think watching them and seeing how they think about sustainability is really encouraging, how they question systems that don't make sense, and how they expect better from the world. Their generation, I see from them and their friends that their generation see environmental responsibility as a must-have, and they see it in everything. So that really gives me hope. But really what excites me is that what I'm seeing now is that women of all ages who are refusing to accept the status quo for themselves, and that's largely linked to sustainability as well. The change that I'm seeing in the world, women not accepting old narratives and keeping us in our lane, where we're starting companies, we're challenging industries, and from a sustainability perspective, when you combine the wisdom of women who've been through corporate battles, who've really gone through plenty of crisis, be they corporate, be they personal, and when you marry that with the challenges that we are facing in terms of sustainability and climate change, I think then you can see real change happening and real solutions for people on the ground. There's so much advice I could give my younger self now, in hindsight, I think, but what I always tell myself is, you become what you believe you are. And, you're never too old to learn, or you're never too young to start something. And I would say just believe in yourself, and you'll be amazed at what you can actually achieve.